Hey, welcome to Second Chance Youth Ranch TV. Don't go away, because on this show we have a gentleman all the way from Israel and another one all the way from Georgia. So don't go away. We'll be right back. Welcome to Second Chance Youth Ranch TV. Don't turn the channel. This show may very well go down in the annals of Second Chance Youth Ranch TV as the most life-changing, inspiring show you've ever watched on Christian television. That's a mouthful. That's called doing the car salesman pitch. On this show we have Enrico, who's actually an Italian, and we have Mike, who I'm not exactly sure what he is because he's traveled around the world, but I do know he is a Marine veteran. I'm an Army veteran, and Enrico is a Harley owner.
I am.
So we got so much in common on this show. So Enrico, tell us your name and tell us what your actual title and position is in the state of Arkansas.
Well, I'm Enrico Ravenna. You are right. Italian last name, Ravenna. It's a city in Italy. And I am the new executive director of the Jewish Federation of Arkansas.
So does that lead our viewers to understand that you may be of Jewish heritage?
I am. I'm born and raised in Israel to a Jewish family. I'm the grandchild of Holocaust survivors.
Now there's a unique thing I'd like to just kind of get out in public here right from the beginning. You're Jewish heritage, raised in Israel. Your grandparents were Holocaust survivors, but your wife is a Baptist?
Southern Baptist.
I'm confused, and we're only 30 seconds into the show. So that's a unique combination. Mike, are you Jewish?
No, I'm Christian.
You're a Christian.
Yeah, before the Marines, I actually did mission work in China and Russia with Campus Crusade, but I think they've changed the name now. I think it's Cru or something.
Yeah. Campus Crusade, Dr. Bill Bright.
Yep.
Who, you know, to this day, I had the privilege of meeting him the year before he went to heaven. And I am amazed how few people in America actually know who he is. And yet Campus Crusade and all of its diversity is the largest evangelistic association in the world. And but that's a testament of a man who God transformed his life, and he lived to give his life away and didn't receive all the accolades and demand awards. And that's a tremendous thing. So Enrico, you're Italian, so you grew up in Israel. Where were you born? Italy?
Israel.
Born in Israel.
Born and raised in the south in a very, very small community in a kibbutz.
In a kibbutz. What is a kibbutz?
It is, okay, so back in early modern state of Israel, there was a necessity, there was a need for togetherness, right? Which is something that I love to use. People had to depend on each other.
Community.
So they created those smaller, tight-knit communities that were agricultural, farming, right? I remember growing up milking cows, right?
Yeah.
And just being a part of a community and being a contributor to society in that sense. And my grandparents are from the founders of Kibbutz Ruchama in the south, Gaza envelope area. And their lives were really, really tough because they survived the Holocaust and then had to go to Israel and also fight to create the modern state of Israel. And then continue to fight and continue to build. But I was born there in Israel, served in the IDF, in the Israeli Defense Forces, so I'm an IDF veteran. And then after my service, when I lost my mom, I moved to Italy, so I spent time in Italy.
How long were you in the IDF? What was the term of service?
So a mandatory service is 3 years for male and female, doesn't matter, 3 years. I served just under 4 years.
We have, in the military, American military, we have an MOS, which is our job description. What was your MOS?
So I served in a human intelligence unit. Okay, there's not.
I would have never been able to serve in that one if it required human intelligence. Those two, that's an oxymoron for me. So
You know how in the U.S. You have intelligence branches within each branch, right?
Sometimes.
Like Army intelligence, Navy
Occasionally.
intelligence, right? So in Israel, we have an entire branch dedicated just for intelligence. So you might serve in the intelligence branch, which that's what I was. I served in a unit in the intelligence branch. There's not much I can share about the nature of my service.
Yeah.
I can say that it was a very, very interesting service. It was different. I definitely didn't expect that when I joined the IDF. And I cherish it. I value it. I think it definitely contributed to who I am as a person today.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, living in Israel, which I've never been, everybody wants me to go. The problem is I'd cry the whole time I'm there because it's for Christians, that's our homeland. For you, let me ask you this question. Many people think of Judaism as a religion, but it's not really a religion, it's really a people. Is that right? Is my concept right?
Yeah. I mean, you're absolutely right. It's funny because Judaism is a lot of things to a lot of people, right? A part of it is a peoplehood, right? We share the ancestral history. We share a common values. So for me, being Jewish means being a part of that peoplehood, right? But it also, to some, mean a lot more of a religious practice, right? Reading the Torah, right? Praying the Jewish prayers, celebrating the Jewish holidays. For me, personally, it's a matter of a personal relationship with my Creator.
Yeah.
Right? And I think that is a very, very unique way to look at it, because I get to connect to both my Jewish heritage, but also to my Christian brothers and sisters and to my Christian family. And in that sense, I can go to a synagogue service and feel right at home, and that's how I grew up, and that's great. But I can also go to a church service and feel right at home and enjoy that as well.
And where are you going to be with your wife come Resurrection Sunday, otherwise known as Easter?
Right here at Family Church Bryant.
I've been twisting his arm, Mike, for a while. And I was watching Shabbat on television just this past weekend, and seemed somewhat formal. They had the Orthodox and the unorthodox, so I watched a little bit of both of those. Our services and many of our contemporary church services, I'm sure even where you go when you go with your wife together, a little more contemporary, less traditional. I'm probably like Mike being a Marine, I'm not a traditional guy. So what I really like about the current move of God in Protestant churches is a more contemporary worship, a freer, more relaxed, less orthodox. We're going to take a break here in a moment, so I don't want to say too much. And we're going to come back and learn a little bit about Mr. America over here and how you guys were met actually, I think, on a movie set. Is that right? So we'll take a brief break and be back with Mike and Enrico and drink coffee together.
Hi there. I'm here to tell you everything you need to know about Arkansas Christian Academy. Are you ready? Okay, let's go. Our name is Arkansas Christian Academy, but most of us just say ACA around here. Our mascot is this guy. Go Knights! Founded in 2001, ACA has grown from only a few classes to having classes in pre-K all the way through 12th grade. As far as class sizes go, we were smaller on average across the board, and we use this to challenge our students academically and individually on a personal level, learning through the lens of God's Word in every subject and growing a personal relationship with Him through our amazing staff and in our daily chapel classes. For a full breakdown, check out our website at archristian.org, and feel free to explore other aspects of our school while you're there. Now, let's go outside. Our still growing campus sits right off I-30 and is protected by gates and doors with magnetic locks, only accessible by faculty and staff. We also have these guys here every day. But seriously though, safety is a priority here at ACA, as we want to ensure not only a quality education, but an environment where learning can flourish without fear or other outside distractions. Now, let's move on to the fun stuff. Here's a shot of our football field, a playground, some kids, another playground, our main gym, a football field again, and this is our brand new middle school. What else?
What about extracurricular activities?
That's right, here at ACA, we offer all different kinds of sports, but that's just the beginning. We have a broadcasting class, spoiler alert, it's really cool, a music and worship program, theater, and a thriving art program complete with a very active yearbook committee.
Wow.
There you have it. Schedule a tour today and find out what all the buzz is about at Arkansas Christian Academy.
Welcome back to Second Chance Youth Ranch TV. On this show, I often say a church alive is worth the drive, but Enrico came to us around the world, all the way from Israel. So Enrico, I want to know more about that. But before I do, since Mike and I are Protestant Christians, you're Jewish, your wife is Protestant Christian.
Mm-hmm.
That's a real interesting dynamic that I want our viewers to kind of, I don't like this terminology, I hear it the first time I've ever used it, I want to unpack this. So let's dissect that a little bit. At what age did you move from Israel to the United States?
So I moved from Israel to Italy first,
Okay.
and then from Italy to the United States.
All right, so I want to, so I don't lose my train of thought, because I'm a one-track mind, and sometimes I find myself facing myself. There's a unique connection with you and Christians going all the way back to your grandparents. Can you talk about that a little bit? And as soon as you finish, tell me about your necklace, which is a phenomenal, very moving story to me.
Absolutely, and thank you for allowing me to share the story. My grandparents on my dad's side are Italian, and they're Holocaust survivors. And the only reason why they were able to survive and make it to the state of Israel, or I guess before it was even the state of Israel, or the modern state of Israel, is because a Catholic priest got them fake documents to say that they were Christians. And that's the only way they were able to move and run away from place to place. Now, it did get they got really close to getting caught by the Nazis, and the Catholic priest actually was killed by the Nazis for helping
Wow.
Jews. And I grew up in a household where we were taught to love our Christian brothers and sisters, because thanks to them, we exist.
Yeah, without them, you wouldn't personally be here, would you?
Without our Christian family, I would not be here today. I would not be here. That's a fact. And that's just a simple fact that I cherish every day.
Yeah.
Since my grandparents are, and they're no longer with us. They both passed away. My grandpa, my nonno, my saba passed away about 1.5 years ago.
Wow.
And but he left a legacy.
How
And
old were they approximately when they passed?
My grandpa was 94, 95. Yeah, and it's, imagine him being a child, a 14-year-old child back in Nazi Italy, right? Running away from the Nazis, having to pretend to be something that he's not as a child, right? Like, you make one single mistake, and they're on to you.
Yeah.
And it's right to your, probably to your death. Right?
So your grandparents, as teenagers, moved to Israel?
Well, British mandate.
Yeah.
British
Back
mandate back then, but
Yeah.
then my grandpa fought in the War of Independence, and continued on to fighting in the next 2 wars Israel had, and built the kibbutz and built the south of Israel, and it's funny because one of the things I always ask him, hey, how's everything going, Saba? And in Hebrew, it rhymes with building bridges, right? Building bridges, building buildings. So in Hebrew, I would ask, Ma ha'inyanim? And he would answer, Bonim binyanim. So how's everything going, Grandpa? He's like, we're building buildings, we're building everything. So that was our mindset from a very, very young age, and that's what I'm trying to do here in Arkansas with our communities, which I see as just one community. We're just one big family.
Tell me about the necklace and the anchor.
So when my mom passed away, it was actually her yard site, and my best friend Mike here came to visit specifically to join our mom's yard site. It was the 12th year of her passing, and when she passed away, she only had white gold, really. Like, all of her jewelry were white gold and some gemstones. So my dad had a jeweler melt all of her white gold and create 4 necklaces. And my dad and I have anchors, because she was our anchor.
Yeah.
Our mom was the anchor of the family.
Mm-hmm.
And without her, we were lost at sea for a while.
Yeah.
you know, and this is a reminder, you know, to always, when I look down at this necklace, it is a reminder that I live my life in honor of my mom, and it's a good grounding feeling. Like,
how does a guy from Italy who's made his way to Israel, where he's born, and back to Italy, meet a guy, Captain America here?
So this Captain America, who became my brother and best friend, we met each other on the set of Guardians of the Galaxy 2. The production needed a bunch of different types of people.
Was that in California? Where was it shot?
That was in Atlanta, Georgia. That was in Atlanta,
Yeah.
Georgia. So my wife and I lived in Atlanta, Georgia at the time. And I was doing acting work. Mike, well, I'll let you tell your story, but we were both at the makeup test for the Guardians of the Galaxy because they needed to use a bunch of prosthetics and try it out on different people with hair, people without hair, right? And we met. He heard my accent, asked me, like, hey, where are you from? I said, I'm from Israel. Both military guys. We immediately clicked, and I mean, I became his little brother of the family, the little Israeli brother. His family, you know, became my family, inviting us to Thanksgiving, to Christmas. It became, you know, and the rest is history, really.
All right, he invited you to Thanksgiving, I get it, but then he invites you to Christmas.
Yep.
Your story, Enrico, is really it's very fascinating to me, and I can't imagine anybody that's watching trying to figure out what is a guy from Israel doing with a guy from Georgia and a guy from Arkansas, and we're all serving the same God with the same heart to see the world a better place. And really, our church, me personally, Dr. Kathy Dorsch with Commission Fields, we believe in God's country. It's not just dirt. People want to argue about the nation of Israel. God gave them the property, and nobody has a right to take from anyone what God's given you. And my simple Christian life is, I don't want what anybody else has, I just want what God has for me. And your living and your heritage and your faith, our faith, is standing together, one people serving one God. And that's what it's all about. Mike, we've got 15, 20 seconds.
Okay.
How did this connect for you?
Well, I was at law school at the University of Alabama at the time, and that summer I had gotten into doing extra casting in movies in Atlanta, and that's just how it happened. And I was a historian by trade, so I understand the historical aspects of Israel, and Enrico and I just hit it off, and we've been friends ever since.
Life is made up of divine connections, and I think we have one, Dr. Dorsch with the Arkansas Jewish Federation and the National Federation for that matter. And we want to make a connection with you, and fostering, mentoring, adopting is what this is about, and we are all adopted into the body of God. And so we'll take a break and be right back.
I like to play on my PlayStation. My favorite food is teriyaki beef.
Meet Braylon. He is a talented, athletic, and loving preteen looking for a forever home. He enjoys working out, playing video games, and beef teriyaki is his favorite dish. He enjoys participating in sports, which is a great fit considering his strong leadership skills.
When I grow up, I want to be a weapons specialist for the military that creates more advanced weapons. If I could have a superpower, it would be visibility.
Braylon wants to be adopted by a two-parent family that can keep him busy and engaged. Occasionally, he'll need to be redirected as most young teens do. But most importantly, he needs the patience of loving parents to build his trust. Braylon is ready to bring his great qualities into a family who can give him the love and support he deserves.
Hey, welcome back to Second Chance Youth Ranch TV. This specific show, we're not really focusing too much on Arkansas as far as fostering, mentoring, and adopting, but that previous segment, we always show Project Zero videos of young children, sometimes sibling groups, that are looking for a family that will adopt them. You know, I haven't been a Christian my whole life. I was raised going to church, and I didn't know the Lord, wasn't following God. I went off in the military, became an atheist. Then I came to know Yeshua as my personal Lord and Savior, and it's still transforming my life, and I was adopted into the family of God. So in a sense, I understand adoption and not belonging to an intact, functional family. My dad drank, weekend alcoholic. My mother struggled to feed us, sometimes take care of us, and we became a foster family, worked at the Methodist Children's Home where my mother was a foster mother, and my siblings and I, because of a broken home, lived there in separate cottages, separate houses. But it's that making that divine connection. We see that on a movie set where two military guys from two different countries become best of friends. And Enrico, I just have one question. Do you not go to the gym? Look at Mike, bless his heart, poor little withered up there. He does.
He just doesn't have the time right now to be as active as I am.
I promise you, Pastor, I do go to the gym, but no matter what I do, I will always look much smaller than I am next to this guy.
Lean and mean. Yeah. Well, I actually have on my keys over here with my sunglasses, I actually have a tag of the gym I belong to. They're still looking for me. But being a Marine, you spent how many years?
Just over 4.
4.
So
and you spent 4 in the IDF?
So I did 4, and then I worked for the State Department, did some merc work, some mercenary stuff.
What was your MOS in the Marines?
So my
Marines
MOS
are typically first in, last out.
Yeah, so I was, by trade, I was a 1302, which was a combat engineer officer, but as soon as I hit the fleet, I volunteered for the embedded training teams. So basically, we trained the Afghan National Army how to fight, and then took them out into the mountains.
Tell me about, just real quick, about your overseas ventures, if you will. Where have you served in combat zones or what?
So in Afghanistan, it was 07, 08 in the Korengal Valley. If there's any veterans out there, they know what that was like in the Kunar province. And then I got out and helped a friend of mine that I'd met in the Marine Corps. He had a maritime security company, so we fought pirates off the coast of Somalia for about a year. And then started working for one of the larger defense contracting companies protecting the ambassador in northern Iraq for a while. And then I got injured, and when I was going through the surgeries, I went to law school thanks to the GI Bill. So for all the people out there that pay taxes,
what's your profession now then? Are you an attorney?
So I basically am in the film industry, so I'm a movie producer. I occasionally act, and right now we're actually working on a faith-based film that we're actually going to be bringing out. We're talking to distributors about it. It's like The Sound of Freedom, but lower budget, but a little bit more action to it.
Are you a producer, director?
Producer and actor.
I'll be. Well, I know the story of a guy that grew up in foster care, went to jail, met the Lord, and became a pastor, and now has foster children, about 95 of them, has a private school, and pastors a church. That'd be me.
Well, hey.
That'd make a cool story.
Let's find a screenwriter and let's adapt that.
I just pitched my script to you right now.
There you go. That works.
Barry, I think that needs to be a movie.
I know a couple of guys that could be in the movie.
Well, we can.
I have an old west town that we could film some of it in.
There you go. That works. He's a better actor than I am, though.
Yeah.
But.
Well, all preachers are good actors. Many Christians are good actors too. I say when we get to heaven, we're not going to be given an Academy Award for being the best Christian actor or the best person who acted like a Christian. Christianity is not an act. It's living the life of God in the earth, connecting with God's people and becoming a part of God's family. And you guys are a living testimony of that. And I think that's pretty cool.
Amen, Pastor Perry. I think my mission here in Arkansas is to unite us and to unify our people.
Yeah.
And I said it before, I'll say it again. Together is the only way forward.
Yeah.
With a message of love and gratitude to each other, to God. And I think that together we will accomplish greatness here.
Yeah. Well, I was just reading this week. I didn't even realize you were coming on the show this week. I found that out yesterday. I knew you were coming. I just didn't know when. And I was studying the scriptures just in my daily study about how we, non-Jews, the wild olive branch, have had the privilege of being grafted into the branch. But it's the root that's the key. If there's no Abraham, there's no Perry. And really, there's no Enrico.
There's no Enrico.
And when the Jewish community and the Christian community realize that we share the root, the same root, serving the same God, we can have a greater impact in the world. That's why I'm thrilled to have you as now a friend. I've known you for every bit of a month, and I just have a what I believe is a supernatural affinity, a real connection with you, and because of connection with you, I already like Mike.
I'm likable.
Yeah,
Mike is a very, very likable guy.
Yeah. If not, we'll hold him down and shave his head.
It'll be easier for me.
So this is our last segment. What would you say to anyone, Mike? What have you gained? We only have a minute and a half. What have we gained from this relationship, this friendship?
Oh, I mean, obviously having another brother. That's how my parents think of him. To me, Enrico's helped open my eyes to a lot of historical context, a lot of things you read about or whatever, but knowing like how he grew up in the south of Israel, like in the 90s and early 2000s, and what he had to deal with as a young Israeli with everything going on in Gaza and is still going on to this day. So like he's helped me, even though I'm, had multiple degrees and been around the world and things like that with the military and other service. Knowing him has made me more intelligent on subjects like that.
When Christians don't include our Jewish family, we're not complete. Mm-hmm. And that's what you're literally experiencing through your relationship. And I think that's what the Lord wants us to express to our viewers, is that we must broaden our horizons, stretch our tent stakes, and be a part of the family of God means to pray for the peace of Jerusalem. Mm-hmm. And God told Abraham, Genesis chapter 12, which we're very familiar with, whoever blesses Israel will be blessed. Whoever curses Israel will be cursed. I want to be blessed. We want to thank you for watching Second Chance Youth Ranch TV. If you want to know more about Judaism and about the roots of our faith, contact Enrico with the Arkansas Jewish Federation. So until then, we'll see you next week right here at Second Chance Youth Ranch TV. Bye-bye.